The new year of Raw went on the air with the company kicking off 2003 by simultaneously building up to the 10th anniversary Raw TV special next Tuesday along with the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in 2 weeks, recapping the two major segments from the last Raw of 2002 with the latest Steiner-Hunter angle followed by the JR and Kane tag team win in Oklahoma, and with JR getting his hometown redemption from Vince McMahon while in the process paying him back by drawing the most watched Raw main event in 4 months. The special moment, which Ross called an all-time career highlight, ended up being a closure of a different kind, with JR breaking major news on Friday, officially announcing the end of his weekly Ross Report that over the past 5 years became one of the main features on the company website on a weekly basis, prompting a major reaction and speculation on his standing with the company, with Ross on the surface saying that the reasoning for the end of the report being lack of time due to his many other responsibilities in the company, with a different version of the report set to be featured once a month in the Raw magazine instead of the widely publicized weekly article on the website, with perhaps the legit reason that led to the decision being JR subtly hinting at the report causing some backstage issues with talent who were not mentioned in the report or worked themselves into a shoot by taking some of the quotes out of context, reportedly leading to Vince McMahon making the decision on the end of the report, along with alleged involvement from Triple H, who in recent weeks advocated against the increased exposure of the behind-the-scenes process of the industry as one of the reasons for decline in numbers, noting the confidential and tough enough formats in particular with the end of the Ross Report perhaps another complaint on the list, with Raw kicking off the year with a major heat angle with Bischoff after declaring 2003 as his year, setting the Dudleys up for a major beatdown in response for them interfering in the JR match, opening the first Raw segment of 2003 with 4 million viewers, followed by a 400,000 viewers jump in the second quarter with Triple H and Scott Steiner setting up their latest contest as a bodybuilding pose down for the featured segment of the night. With the announcement of the Rumble match having 15 wrestlers from Raw and SmackDown, with the SmackDown brand set to announce the major names this Thursday, Raw set up its top players for the Rumble match, with the first one being Chris Jericho announcing himself for the match with the idea of winning the Rumble to return to the WrestleMania title match for the second straight year, bringing out Shawn Michaels for the response, with Michaels and Jericho going face-to-face for the second time following their first segment in the same time slot on December 16, leading to the biggest first-hour viewership gain in months, continuing to build to their feud, with Michaels bringing up their similarities while challenging Jericho to do what he did in his prime by winning the Rumble from the #1 spot, followed by Jericho's most notable comment in the promo being him saying that he was the first undisputed champion by beating two men who Michaels has never beaten in his career, seemingly intentionally not mentioning the names of Rock and Austin as to not bring them up in front of the audience before their eventual return in the next month, ending with Michaels, after challenging Jericho to take the spot, instead announcing himself as the #1 entry for the Rumble match, setting up Raw's main angle for the match being the first clash of Jericho and Michaels, with the segment not only matching the strong number of their previous confrontation but topping it with an even bigger viewership jump of over 600,000 viewers, giving another strong indication of interest in the Michaels-Jericho dynamic, with the segment peaking the night already at 9:30 p.m. in the only quarter to enter the 5 million viewers range. In addition to taking the Rumble match hype to the next level, also setting up the TV main event with Randy Orton making his TV return to announce himself being on the way to full recovery, followed by Van Dam and Kane running in to book them against Jericho and Christian, with Michaels and Orton in each corner. After the strong peak for the Jericho-Michaels segment in an unusual time slot midway through the first hour, Raw followed with a tag titles match of Booker and Goldust against Storm and Regal, going 14 minutes over the top of the hour quarter, maintaining practically the entire audience but without the usual 10 p.m. viewership bump, ending with a surprise title change of Storm and Regal winning the belts, with Booker set to go in a different direction for a major singles run, starting on Saturday in a Raw house show in Anaheim in what ended up the most talked about show of the week, as with Goldust missing the tour for personal issues to result in the originally advertised tag match being changed on short notice to Booker vs Jericho second from the top, after Booker went over, followed by a Christian and Jericho post-match beatdown on Booker to set up the crowd expecting Goldust to run in for the save. Out of nowhere, Rock's music hit as the Anaheim pond exploded, with Rock taking out Jericho and Christian to clear the ring in his first appearance in a WWE ring since the SummerSlam pay-per-view, cutting a promo before exchanging spinneroonies with Booker in the post-match house show routine, to a massive reaction with Rock despite the upcoming plans for him to return as a heel, making the appearance still as a babyface with no sign of a turn to save the big first heel promo for television. As with his run set to start over the next month, along with the expected returns of Austin, Hogan and McMahon in the near future in hopes of leading to a strong business boost, the first 2003 week of WWE television with an identical scheduling format to last year to open 2003, with the company returning from the holiday break with a rare live broadcast of SmackDown followed by the first Raw of the year 4 days later. The year-on-year comparison further indicated on the new reality of the industry from the late stages of the boom period in early 2002 to the rebuilding mode it's currently at today, after the live SmackDown showed 1 million viewers drop from the previous year. Raw on the night gave an even bigger reality check with the broadcast and tough comparison to a loaded Raw from the Garden on January 7, 2002. Declining a massive 2.1 million viewers from the over 6.6 million viewers watching in 2002 to 4.5 million tonight. And after strong numbers for their previous segment, with the company going with a different strategy of routinely placing them in the toughest time slot of the show to offset the usual drop instead of maximizing the boosted interest for the feud in the main event, the Steiner vs Triple H one-upmanship feud continued, with a hyped bodybuilding pose down contest kicking off at 10:33 p.m. 13 days to the Rumble pay-per-view, managing to avoid any physical contact between them until the first ever clash at the Rumble in the series of unique segments throughout the entire build-up, with the actual first Steiner vs Hunter singles match, which was originally scheduled to headline the two special house shows in Honolulu Thursday and Friday, being changed almost at showtime due to Hunter's leg injury, to see the Thursday show being switched to Steiner vs Raven and Hunter teaming with Batista against Kane and Van Dam in the show closing match, with their first match instead coming a day later, with Steiner replacing Kane in the main event tag to submit Hunter with the recliner for the finish. With the Honolulu, Hawaii shows and the company's only second tour in the market in years following the first one in June 2002, seeing the company not selling out on either night in a massive contrast in ticket demand to the previous show headlined by Rock's debut in the country against Jericho on June 15, with the Rock vs Jericho show, which Rock called one of the most meaningful of his career due to growing up in the area and with his family's history in the territory, selling out the Blaisdell Arena in record time the moment he was officially advertised, with a massive ticket demand that reportedly could have sold out a stadium, with the Triple H Steiner pose down after a swerve from Hunter, with him picking the judges from the crowd to give him the win before turning on Steiner, ending up with him clearing the ring, with the 18-minute segment going over 2 quarters and the usual turn-off half-hour of the show from 10:30 to 11 p.m., while not seeing the strong gains of previous weeks, still rebounding over 200,000 viewers to reverse the usual viewing pattern, with one more week of build-up for the match set for next Monday. With a rare near 20-minute uninterrupted block that late in the show without closing it minutes earlier, Raw took its final commercial break crossing past 11 p.m. to kick off the match already in the overrun, seeing the Kane and Van Dam vs Jericho and Christian main event going 7 minutes, with Michaels and Orton at ringside to end the show at the hour average with 4.6 million viewers, And with the first Raw of the year still not seeing the expected January bump, with the show actually slightly dropping in viewership from the last first-run Raw in December, the final minute of the broadcast was designed to all but guarantee the big rebound, kicking off from next Monday with the big headline from the show seeing Eric Bischoff being notified that Vince McMahon is gonna make his TV return in a special appearance for next week's Raw, making McMahon the first one to appear from the 5 megastars return list with a week of major hype heading into next Monday.